New podcast, Truth in the Barrel. It's out today, mixing things up. Jump in on the last conversation, but also tell me what you guys are trying to do here with this.
Yeah, so we know that a lot of Americans do not get their news, their information from, MSNBC or CNN or even Fox News. It's decentralized.
Totally.
And that rate has just skyrocketed. And we also know that the far right and a lot of disinformation gets disseminated through that decentralized media. When you look at, the far right podcast, for example, they're in numbers, they're much bigger than either the left or where we are at, the center left and the center right. And so we're going to go into that space, and we're going to be, two patriotic Americans who, serve their country, and just talking about the truth, talking about what. Now, our background is national security, but we're going to be talking about lots of different things. Why? As a balance. It's really to reach out to, your neighbor. You may watch MSNBC, but your neighbor down the street, he listens to Joe Rogan. And maybe, you can convince him, hey, let's listen to these people who served our country who are just telling us the truth about the tariffs, the truth about what is going on in nuclear proliferation, for example. That's what we're trying to do.
I mean, I've said this since Trump won. I mean, I think the new moonshot is making the truth more appealing, more sticky, more intoxicating than the disinformation. How do you do that?
Oh, my goodness. I think part of it is that when you have a Marine and an airman going into battle, right, is that we have to reach people in the specific types of comms channels that they're using. And we talk about conspiracy theories. Me and you talked, Nicole, so much about January 6th when it was happening. And everybody says, well, the big conspiracy theory was election denialism. But there's been this cascading effect of this deep state globalist takeover that a lot of the right believe. And also you have this Christian nationalism and white nationalism that's sort of metastasized across the entire United States. And what if you have individuals like Amy and myself that aren't afraid to actually attack that right at its source? And I think it's actually going right to them and saying, this is how it really is. If you don't like it, challenge us. Because we're happy to be challenged. When you talk about decentralized media, that's sort of our thing. That's what we're good at, right? Is that I looked at the disinformation channels when we were doing the January 6th committee, but I did that well before with QAnon. And I think what we have is people don't want to say that anymore. They think it might be passé. But QAnon started from the New World Order, started from 9/11 truthers. If you go all the way back to the, the protocols of the Elders of Zion, right? All of that stuff now is just metastasizing this big churn of really crap, And I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to push that to the side and say, listen, truth actually matters, fact matters, and if we can just sway 1 to 3% of the American public with, Nicole, I'm going to use your words. If we can hit 60% of people with pro-democracy messaging, but also pro-fact and truth, it's not left and right anymore. It's sane and insane. And I definitely want to end up on the same side of the ledger when this is all said and done.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Keep us posted. Come back.
Sure will. Thanks, Nicole. Right. Thanks for having me.
Amy in Denver, thanks to both of you. The podcast that they're doing is called Truth in the Barrel, and you can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts.